Alright, so this radio gives the password to one setting here. This is the Chinese Tesla radio, or Tesla style radio. This is in a 2014 Ford Edge. So the factory settings passcode is in the book, and that passcode is 8888 for this specific radio. Press OK, and for whatever reason, if you need to get into engineering test debugging, like if your radio doesn't cut off from Bluetooth or whatever like that, the passcode for this one is 269599910. Its factory setting is direct sleep mode, which you can see the green mark over here. If you want it to shut down after cutting the switch off, you select direct shutdown mode, but if it doesn't connect to Wi-Fi automatically, then that time is going to be wrong, which it is now. And it's been wrong ever since I set the radio and then turned direct shutdown mode off. So I put it back on direct sleep mode. That way it uses the car battery and keeps it awake. Not fully awake, but awake enough to be able to keep a time. Anyways, I've set that. It asks you to save data. Press yes and go back. Much of this other stuff you're not going to be using. I mean, you have plenty of settings in here. Protocol settings, protocol debugging, touch settings, color settings, MCU info settings, export the configuration, reboot, which you may end up having to use that from time to time. Touch test, USB settings, power amplifier settings, encoder settings, app settings, lock screen mode settings, protocol parameter settings, help and feedback, key light settings, mute settings, direct control settings, physical button study, tire pressure settings, debug touch, Bluetooth connect pair set, engineering test debug, which we've already been into that, our code output settings, and then clear test file. You don't want to clear the test file because that clears everything that you've already done to the radio. So we'll go back. And of course, this is the factory settings here. If you need system info, this would be the system info for the radio. This is not Android 12. This is Android 9.1. Stay on that screen for a second in the event someone needs to copy it. Car settings. So when you get into your car and get this radio set in, you go set into car. So your normal settings is they don't speak very good English, so it says language instead of language. And of course this is in English. Unit of measure, I think it starts off in metric. Oh, hang on, pressed the wrong button. It starts off in metric or kilometers, so you want to set it to miles. Your camera delay, you don't want it delay. You want it to automatically come on the moment you put it in reverse, so you turn that camera delay off. Ambient light, no matter how many times I've set this, it never stays. I set it to ice blue, which is what the cup holder light is. You can see it there. And this other one right here is supposed to be lit up, but you can't really see it very well. So we'll go back. This is the equalizer. This radio turns the volume up and down completely different than any radio I've ever seen in my life. Right now it's at 30. It presets itself at 30 or max volume. And you don't want it to be at max volume because it'll scare the life out of you when you start it up. I have my bass, mid-range, and treble all the way up, and this volume setting changes here as well as here per this button or the volume down button is there. So you'll see I can turn it down. Yeah, well, everything changed. That wasn't my intentions. So let me turn this back up. This has factory Sony stereo in it, and it sounds very good with the stereo in. Lastly, in the original car settings, you want to go to AC controls, and you want to set up everything that your car has. So if you have rear AC controls, you want to make sure that your rear seat air conditioner has its settings programmed. Right now this one has none because it doesn't have rear AC controls. AC max is full AC blowing fan on recirculation with the AC compressor turned to max AC. So it needs to learn those settings. This setting here, I've changed it multiple times. It's supposed to be Fahrenheit, not Fahrenheit. So it's 59.5 degrees is its lowest setting, which is pretty cold. It's not as cold as it actually is coming out of the vent close up when you're measuring it with a meter. Let's see. I don't have it on auto mode, although it's not going to let me change auto mode. It's not on auto here. Rear AC says it's locked. It doesn't have rear AC. The AC compressor is on. It's on syncing left and right together. This should be on recirculation to be able to keep the air inside instead of sucking air from outside. This is Southwest Florida, so it stays pretty warm here throughout the year. This setting can be brought up by tapping the bottom center section of the screen and then hidden by the same way. So we'll go back. That should cover all of your settings. You have to do all of these settings before it's fully programmed to the car. Your Android settings. This is the Android operation settings. The first thing I do with every single Android that I use, whether it be my phone, the car radio, and my Nissan, or this one, see, it says it's updated to Android 12.0 here, and it's not. So we'll go to About. On the build number, you want to tap it 5 times to be able to unlock developer mode. I've already got it unlocked, so it's not going to allow me to do anything there. So after you get it unlocked, you want to go back. Let's see, I don't remember exactly where this is. Oh, it's right here. Developer options. You don't want the screen to stay on. This being a car radio, if it stays on, the car battery would be dead in a couple hours. I unlocked OEM unlocking to allow the bootloader to be unlocked, which it doesn't have to be done, but I intend on changing the software here before long. That way everything Android wise and Google Play wise can be updated. This has Netflix on it, but I can't use Netflix because it says that the radio is not compatible anymore. It doesn't have Android Web View on it, which every single Android I've ever used has Android Web View, even my Nissan radio. But anyways, this is the main thing that I do with my radio or my phone to be able to make it faster. Make sure your taps are off, your pointer location is off. And then you want to go to window animation scale. What in the world is this thing doing? It's flickering all over the place. Window animation scale. If you turn it off, then it goes to the very next screen very quickly. Okay, let me go back here and try to get this thing to reboot. This should not be doing this. keep putting the code in wrong. 26695. Wait. 5910. Well, it looks like that's not going to work out in my favor, so of course it didn't reboot. So we'll do a reboot from right here. Also, you can't change the boot screen on these. Although it says in the instructions that you can't. I wanted to make it have the Ford logo on it since this is a Ford. I was able to change the wallpaper to Ford, but nothing else. Alright, now last thing that I need to do before I'm done with this recording is to change the date and time. China Standard Time, it says. Automatic date and time used, network provided. That didn't work out either. It was GPS provided. It says it'll take 1 minute to obtain GPS fix. Besides, GPS may fail to provide time due to weak environmental signal. Yes, I want to change it. If it doesn't pick it up within a minute, then I will turn off automatic date and time, turn off automatic time zone, and set my time zone and my time as well as the date. So far it's not picked it up and it's been over a minute, so we'll go ahead and turn this off, set my time as currently 10:04 a.m. That's it. My time zone is not China Standard. I'm in the eastern portion of the United States. It's Eastern Daylight Time, and it goes right back to 10:04 p.m. Today is June the 13th, 2023. Right now his time is 10:05 a.m. Now here's to hoping that it stays. If you want to update this thing, this is where you do your updates as well. Although it never has the option to update. They say that it's supposed to have an update within 2 months, but we'll see. Back to the home screen. Apps is up here. I've downloaded a couple more to be able to make my life a little easier. See, it has Netflix there. You can't use it. I downloaded, well, it's not on here anymore, Bluetooth file transfer. I downloaded Android WebView as well, but it doesn't work either. So, alright, thanks for watching.